Hello and welcome back to Mark's House and Garden UK. In this video I'm going to demonstrate how to use French cleats to hang a heavy object such as a headboard to a wall. Now I've bought a set of French cleats off Amazon. In actual fact, in my box there were two sets of French cleats, which is handy because I can use one set at either end of this wide object. And the benefit of these is they're quite load bearing and they will keep the object, like the headboard, flat against the wall. Now my box has got two sets in. I don't need to use two sets if I'm hanging something slim, like a mirror. So this is a mirror which I will be hanging up, and I can just use one set for that mirror. Similarly, a heavy picture like this one here, you could use one set in the middle. All right, let me get the camera in a little bit closer and I'll show you how these French cleats actually work. So this is the headboard here, and it actually came with these two pieces of wood, and you attach those to the back of the headboard and then you attach the headboard to the bed. And that's fine if you want to go down that route. What I don't like about this particular route is whenever you move the bed, the headboard can wobble because it's really just supported by that piece of wood. So what I've decided to do is attach the headboard to the wall, and then we'll offer the bed up to the headboard. And this headboard is going to be positioned somewhere around here. I want the top of it to be level with the bottom of that alcove. So that's the problem, that's the issue. And these are the French cleats. Now, as I've already said, I've got two sets of French cleats in my box. And one set consists of two pieces. And I will demonstrate how this works. One piece is attached to the wall, and the other piece will be attached to the back of the bed head. And if I get up close now, you'll be able to see that they slot together like that. So that will be attached to the bed head, that will be on the wall, and it will just slide down behind. That will form a nice secure fixing for one end of the headboard, and then we'll put one at the other. Now there are a few challenges with this. I want to get the top of the bed head level with this. So my way of dealing with that is I will attach that to the very top of the back of the headboard, and then I will draw a line along the bottom of it, and that one will be attached to the wall at the top of that line. The other slight challenge is I want it to be central, and I want the French cleats to be on either side at the bottom of this alcove. Now, the French cleats that I've bought have come with some fixings. Basically, these are some brick wall plugs and some screws and some smaller screws to go into the back of the headboard. This is a hollow wall, and wall plugs for bricks are not suitable for hollow walls. Now there is a stud behind there, a piece of wood, and if I was attaching the bottom of the French cleat into that piece of wood, it would have been fine, but I think I'm going into a hollow wall. So I've actually bought some hollow wall anchor bolts, and I'll show you how those work in a minute. Right, so the next thing we need to do really is mark off the center and then mark our lines at the bottom of the French cleat onto the wall. Then we can attach a French cleat to the wall at either end. Then we can attach the other side of the French cleat to the headboard, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, if I can manage the weight of it, I should just be able to lift it in and slot it down, and that will be attached to the wall. Right, let's get on with it. Now I am actually learning on the job. I've never used these French cleats before, and one thing I've already learned is it's very easy to let these confuse you. So spend a bit of time working out what goes where. That's obviously the bottom one that goes on the wall. That is the top one that goes on the bed head. And I am going to be lining mine up with the bottom of this alcove here. So that gives me a position for the bottom cleat, which is there, like that. Now, I know that this alcove is level because I've got a spirit level on it there. If I didn't have this alcove, if I was just hanging that on a bare open wall, I would use something like this laser level to put a mark on the wall, and that mark would go all the way across the wall, and that would help me to make sure that both these French cleats are in the right position. So that gives me a position of the top, and that follows through to give me a position of the bottom. So I'm going to use a pen, number one, to mark the bottom, and also to mark where these holes are. I'm going to line it up with the end of the alcove. I know that the headboard goes beyond that. And I am actually doing this by eye, and it doesn't really matter because this is going to be behind the headboard. So I'm just going to make sure that that is together, all together, fully aligned with the top of this, all the way along, just feeling it with my finger. And then I can go along here with the pen. Now, you'll notice there's a mark already there. That's because I did it wrong first, and that's because I'm learning on the job. Right, hole there, hole there, hole there, hole there, and a hole there. That is where we will drill through to put our anchor bolts or our fixings. I'll just go along that again. That gives me a nice template now. These will be painted over, by the way, don't worry about these. This gives me a nice template now to affix that to the wall right there. Now, alarm bells are already ringing for me. Let me explain why. These hollow wall fixings, what happens is you put them in, and when you screw them up, they expand. So they need space around them to expand on the inside of the plasterboard. This is where my holes are. I'm starting to worry that the stud across here comes down further than my holes, in which case, if I put that in, there's no way that the bolt can expand on the inside because the wood would be in the way. So I need to find out whether it's hollow there or wood there. Now, if it's wood there, that's all well and good. I can just use a wood screw to attach the bracket. If it's right on the verge of wood and hollow space, I might have to drop the bracket down. What I'm going to do to find out is I'm going to get a small drill bit, and I'm going to drill in here a series of small holes, and don't worry because they will be covered by this bracket, and I'm going to establish exactly how deep that timber batting is before I start working with these hollow wall fixings. So my objective now is to find out where the bottom of this batting is. Right, so we'll start here. I'm just going to draw a line through the centre of all these holes. Let's start off in the obvious place, not on one of the holes I'm going to use, but let's start off here. Oh, I've got a dustpan and brush as well. So we'll just use this. I have moved the bed head out of the way. We'll just use this to collect any excess dust as we drill. Now, if this goes in and it's hollow, I shall work my way up. That's definitely hollow there. Okay. That doesn't answer our question, because when that goes into the hole, that needs to expand outwards. So we need hollowness above that hole as well. So let's go a bit further along that line and a bit higher up. It's also hollow, but I can feel wood above it. Let's go another bit further up. And that's definitely wood. Right, so we've established that it is hollow to there. So if I put that into one of those holes, has it got enough space to expand out and make a good fixing? So I've decided the best way to work out how much space we need for this to expand is to demonstrate how these work on this piece of MDF. So I've got the appropriate size drill bit, and I'll just drill the hole through. Put it onto fast. And then you put the fixing through like that. Give it a bit of a tap in. And then you will see as I tighten the screw on this side how that expands. And that is why it's good for hollow walls, because it expands on the inside of the hollow wall. Need my glasses for this. One of the consequences of getting slightly older is I've lost my eyesight up close. Right, so what happens now is, as I tighten this screw, you see it's expanding here to give a really solid fixing. And looking at that there, I think we've got enough space around it, above and below the batten, to use these fixings. So I will go ahead with these fixings. Every day is a school day, isn't it? I'm always learning on the job, always sharing what I've learned with you, my audience on YouTube. And I have to say, quite a few people have said to me that what they like about my channel, my videos, is the fact that I never claim to be an expert and I'm always learning and sharing what I've learned. So what I need now is my 5 holes on here, the right size, and I need to put 5 of these fixings. Actually, I'll need to take the screws out first of the fixings, put the fixings in, put the bottom half of the cleat in, then put the screws back into the fixings and tighten them up. And as it tightens, as you've already seen, it will expand behind in the hollow behind this plasterboard. Right, so let's do that. It will be a bit monotonous, so we'll do it in fast forward with a little bit of music. So there are our 2 half cleats attached to the wall, and you can see that these will slide in the back there. All I need to do now is attach these to the bed head, and then we can drop the bed head in. Now, a couple of things I learnt from that was get all 5 screws in before you tighten any, and then do the bulk of the tightening with an electric drill, but the last bit use a screwdriver, because you want the finesse. You don't want to over tighten these. There's always a temptation to over tighten things, and it's not necessary. That is really strong. So the next job is to attach these at the right place, the right width, to the bed headboard. Now, just in case the boss is watching this video, I've given the floor a really good sweep and I've put a towel down to protect the face of the headboard. Right, there's a gap there for my foot. That is 130 centimetres to the outside edge of those 2 French cleats. I shall mark the centre of this. Need my glasses on again. This is 5 foot wide, which obviously means the centre is 2'6". There's the pen. £2'6" is 30 inches, which is there. 130 divided by 2 is 65. So the extreme edge of that cleat has to be 65 centimetres from the centre, which is there. And the extreme edge of this cleat has to be also 65 centimetres, which is there. Now, if you don't do a job like this on a regular basis, I think there's one piece of advice which is essential. Double check everything, right? Now, it would be very tempting, or very easy, I should say, for me to put these on the wrong way up. And also do sense checks along the way. So if I put those on the marks that I've positioned, and then if I do a quick measure, which is like a quick sense check, and if I just go from the extreme edge of that one to the extreme edge of this one, if it's about 130, I know I'm on the right lines, and it's exactly 130, so that's correct. Now, these are a bit confusing. That has to hang on there, and the top of that has to be at the top of the headboard, so I shall rotate it and place it in position, and then that needs to be screwed onto there using these little screws. As 10, 5 for each, so that one will go on there, and similarly that one has to slide down the back of there. That has to be at the top of the headboard on the mark. Right, this is the last lap really of this job, screwing those onto there using these 5 screws and then dropping it behind. These are like wide hooks, aren't they? So you're kind of hooking it over, and then we are finished. That's the theory. Let's see how it goes. And so the moment of truth is upon us. I have to flip this over, turn it round, and offer it up and see, hopefully. Oh my word, it's actually worked. Right, it needs to be repositioned slightly, but the nice thing about these cleats is you can slide a little bit. How's about that then? Not bad at all. Fitting a heavy object to a wall using French cleats. Right, maybe you want to see the bed up against it. I shall do that next, and then I'll come back and say goodbye. Job done. When you have a go at something that you've never tried before and you achieve it, you get a great sense of satisfaction, and I'm delighted with this. So one thing I would say is, if you want to have a go at something, don't be put off by negativity and have a go. There will always be issues that crop up, but you will always find a solution. We had a slight issue not knowing where that timber batten was, but we worked around it, and the result is excellent in my opinion. Take your time. Do sense checks, measure everything twice, don't over tighten screws, and give it a go. Now, you can support me in many ways. The first one is, of course, by watching this video and liking it and sharing it if you see fit. Thank you for that. You can also buy through my Amazon links, because every penny I make through Amazon goes back into my channel, and there will be links to everything you see in this video in the description box below, from the French cleats to the drills to the screwdrivers, the hollow wall fixing bolts. They'll all be down there in the description box, so please do buy through my links if you possibly can. Now, the third thing is, I've just launched a club. It's off YouTube through my website. Now, YouTube are encouraging me to do memberships. They wanted me to charge £4 to £5 a month for memberships, which would include exclusive content. I've set up a club off YouTube. It's £1 a month. You get a newsletter, you get exclusive content, and every month I give away all the products that product providers have sent me to review. Now it's June. The July draw will include a pond pump. So have a look at that. That's another way you can support me. But thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you found it useful, and I'll see you soon for some more heavy object fixing adventures. Bye for now.